It's so much faster to buy sweater quantities than actually knit a sweater. What can you do? What can you do? Hello friends, and welcome back to my channel. My name is Kristen and I'm a knitter living in Denver with my family, which includes my husband, our dog Sherlock, and our cat Ebony. Sherlock is currently sitting right here on the floor looking at me. He's laying in the sun and he's ready to take a nap. So hopefully we can get through this with minimal interruptions from him. But today's video is my March stash in and stash out video, where I show you guys the yarn that I used up in March and the yarns that I brought in and try to make those numbers balance. The ultimate goal is for at the end of the year, I will hopefully have used more yarn from my stash than what I buy or bring into the stash. That is the ultimate goal, and I like to do these videos as a little bit of an acquisition video to show you guys some new fun exciting yarns, but also keep me accountable and to keep you updated on my goals. Also, since March is 25% of the way through the year, we are through our first quarter. We are 25% through 2022. That is bananas to me. So I wanted to do a little goals update. I have my making journal here to show you what goals I planned at the beginning of the year and then go over them to see how I'm doing, how I'm keeping up with them, that kind of stuff, to see how it's going. So I have my expo board here as normal, and let's get started. So for March, I hit a knitting slump. I mentioned it kind of in my podcast. I don't know, the weather is warming up. It's so nice and bright outside, and I just want to like sew a bit more to like make some new clothes. I want to get outside a bit more, and my knitting mojo just kind of struggled a little bit this month, and it shows in my stash that I got out with my knitting. So this month I only got 3 skeins of yarn out of my stash. I got 2 pairs out for some DK Felici socks, which I'll be able to show up and talk about a bit more in my next podcast episode, but that used 2 skeins because I held the yarn double. And then I also got a skein out for my Desert Vista Dyework socks for March. I used 1 skein for that. So 2 pairs of socks, 3 skeins of yarn, and that was all the knitting of finished objects I finished for March. That's kind of sad. Looking back, my previous 2 months I got a lot more stash out. I definitely had a little bit more mojo. In March I just had this lull. It'll be interesting to kind of see if every quarter is kind of like this. Like maybe I have 2 really high months and then a lower month. Or maybe it's literally just as the weather is warming up, I'm just wanting to endeavor on a few other projects. Who knows? I did also do some destashing this month, so I destashed 21 skeins of yarn. I'll have the link down below for my destash yarns, but they're just on my Ravelry as the will sell or trade section, and sometimes I'll also post to some Facebook groups for some yarns that I just know I don't have any plans for in the near future, and to help balance this out, if I know I'm not going to use it or I'm not as excited as I was about some of my new stuff, I try to destash them. So I did destash 21 skeins of yarn for a grand total of, drum roll please, 24 skeins of yarn out this month, which isn't that bad, honestly. Previous months, knitting wise, I got 12 and 14 skeins out and destashed 20 in January. So a total of 32 and then 15. So 24 out is not that bad. I think that's probably kind of an average. Somewhere in the teens to low 20s is kind of what I can get out in a month, which is kind of good to know. And that does include destashing yarns too. Knitting wise, it's usually about, I've done 12, 14, and 3. So anywhere from a couple to less than 15. That's about it. 15 might be a max for knitting. Anyway, I know what you all are actually here for. We are here for what stash I brought in. So, first thing that came in this month, and I hinted at it in my last stash in and stash out, I got a big shipment from Knit Picks. I ordered 2 sweater quantities of yarn of sport weight Wool of the Andes. I ordered sweater quantities in 2 different colors from Wool of the Andes because they were having a really excellent sale. So I got sweaters quantity in this color, Bramble Heather, which is like a heathered brown. And then a sweaters quantity in this color, Midnight Heather. It's just like a really nice blue. These are obviously not the whole sweaters quantity. The sweater quantity is already down here. It's just a little easier to show. Just a couple. So I did get these. I'm very excited for these. I'm pretty sure I'm going to make a DRK everyday sweater. Just because it seems perfect. The reason I got 2 sweaters quantities is because I couldn't decide. I had decided like I want a brown sweater, which is great. But then I saw the blue and I was like, well, maybe I want a blue sweater. So I spent a lot of time debating between the two and literally at the end of the day still couldn't decide. So I ordered both because the sweater quantities total were like $30 each because of the sale. So 2 sweater quantities in. It's fine. It's the year of the sweater, which we will talk about a bit later. Also, the reason I was on Knit Picks was to actually order this Aloft, which is their lace weight yarn. It is a mohair and silk blend, 72% mohair and 28% silk. This is why I was on the website. This is what I needed to get. I needed to get this color of mohair. It's in the colorway Carbon. This is really soft and really affordable mohair, if that's something you've been wanting to try, but hand-dyed mohair definitely costs a bit more. But I got this because there's a sweater I've been eyeing on Ravelry and it calls for platelopy and then holding a mohair with it. So I have these platelopes, which is just wool, Icelandic wool, in these little cakes, and then I'm going to hold this with it for just a really nice gray sweater. I've been really wanting to cast this on and procrastinated buying. I've been really wanting to cast this on, and then I procrastinated buying the mohair. And now I have the mohair because I was like, I really want to start that sweater. And now it's too warm for me to fathom knitting a woolen mohair sweater that I'm not going to wear until the winter. But maybe I'll knit it sooner rather than later. I don't know. I have the yarn now, so now I can cast on whenever I want to. But overall, that whole order from Knit Picks was 32 skeins because the Wool of the Andes are only 50 gram skeins, so you need quite a few to get a sweater's worth. So that's that. I am very excited for all these sweaters. I just need the weather to be cooler to want to work on them. Then my Yarnable box came. It's still here in this little box, and we can see what's in it. So in the Yarnable, we get our little postcard, which has all of our information on it. So this month, our yarn is Shenanigans. It is brought to us by Silly Gnomes, Lucky Clovers, and Gold at the End of the Rainbow. We also get extra information about the extras that come in the yarn. This I could not pass up this month. It's so good. So I get her, oh my god, fingering weight yarn. It is 85% superwash merino, 15% nylon. It is her plush sock base. Look at this. Look at these speckles. I love when a dyer can just get the crispest speckles. I am a crisp speckle lover. And the fact this is on a white base is just stunning. So I will definitely be saving this to throw into a shawl or a pop of color in another project because I don't want to put this in a pair of socks. I want this in something really special because I love a good white base with really crisp speckles. I have a couple more in here and I just need to find the perfect project for these because they're so good. Also, we got a couple extras this month. So we got a mini skein from Arkansas Yarn Co. Really lovely green. And then we got a couple of stitch markers by 3 by the Sea. This one is so cute with the little, it looks like 4-leaf clovers could be inside. And then our little rainbow. So, very cute, very St. Patrick's Day themed. I love all my Yarnable boxes, honestly. They're so good every time. Oh, I did miss a couple skeins from Knit Picks. I also got a couple more Felici skeins. So this is the color Bookshop from Felici. This is their fingering self-striping yarn. Each one is 50 grams, 218 yards, and then 75% 25 superwash merino and nylon. So I also have these from Knit Picks. So then I was at work and we put a fingering weight yarn on sale. I bought 3 skeins of Neighborhood Fiber Company in these 2 colors. This is colorway Logan Circle. This one is Edgewood. I bought 2 of the green and 1 of the blue. I've already caked up the other green because I'm going to make another Coastal Long shawl. It is my most worn shawl. I wear it all of the time. And I really wanted like a foresty, moody themed shawl. So this is going to be my main color throughout. And these are going to be my stripes. I already have it caked up because I'm ready to cast this on. I need to finish my Birds of a Feather and then I can start this. I just think a really nice, moody shawl is going to be amazing. This yarn from Neighborhood Fiber Company is 100% merino wool. It's their rustic fingering base, and it's 475 yards with 114 grams in a skein. I used some of this yarn in my yellow beanie hat that I made when I did my everyday slouchy beanie, and really enjoyed this yarn. And like I said, this yarn went on clearance at my job because I work at Fancy Tiger Crafts in Denver, and there's still a lot left, but I had to grab the ones I needed. But I'm very excited to do this shawl. I think it's going to be gorgeous, and it's just my most worn shawl. It's just the perfect size and shape, and I love the colors. And since my other one's a bit lighter, because I did like a purple and white stripes, I wanted a little moodier one for fall, and like imagine like being in a forest and a thunderstorm coming through. Those are the kind of colors I wanted my shawl to represent. So that was another 3 skeins. I've even put it in a project bag already. That's how excited I am to start this shawl. I then also bought a few more skeins from work. I bought 3 skeins of this. This is Oh Dang by Farmer's Daughter Fibers. This is a Surrey and silk base. 74% Surrey alpaca and then 26% silk. 328 yards for the 50 grams. This color is olive oil, and oil is spelled O-Y-L. I bought 3 skeins of this to do a love note with. I have 2 skeins from Porter Wool Company in a green that I'm going to be holding with this. I had intentions of doing a swatch today and then realized I do not have needles that size in my Chiao Goose set. So I've ordered needles, they'll be coming, and then I will be swatching for this. This is one of the like springtime cast-ons that's really calling to me. The Love Note is just a really pretty, a cropped or long sweater that you can put on over dresses or over tank tops with pants, and is definitely calling to me. Something like that to throw on with my dresses. So I bought this, and this is the softest yarn ever. It's so good. It's so soft, and I love this color. I am figuring out greens and olives are my favorite colors, and I just want to be dressed in it all the time. So then my Patreon sock set from a Home Sewn House came. It is this gorgeous color this month. So this is the February sock set. The color is Spring Song and then Strawberry. It's on the soft sock base, I believe. It's 75% superwash merino, 25% nylon. And I really thought about caking this up and casting it on as soon as I got it, and then didn't because I'm still working on my January ones. But as soon as those are done, I'm pretty sure is it going on the needles because this looks so good. I'm loving the sock sets I'm getting from Molly's Patreon because they're just always so gorgeous. They make me really happy. Finally, we are on to the last acquisition of the month. This is Hedgehog Fibers Merino DK in the colorway Pet Rock. It is like this brown with slight mauve purple undertones with speckles of orange and blue and green and red. It's just such a good color. This was an accidental shipment that came to the store because we ordered Aaron, and this DK got sent to us, and so I took the hit and I bought the sweater's quantity of Merino DK from Hedgehog Fibers because this is my favorite color that we carry. So I will be probably doing the Anchor's Summer Tea by Petite Knit in this color. I cannot wait. Honestly, that might be the next cast on instead of some other things that I've been thinking of because I'm very excited for this and could use more t-shirts in my stash for sure, in my closet for sure. So this is the last of the yarn acquisitions. Went out with a bang and bought another sweater's quantity of yarn. It's so much faster to buy sweater quantities than actually knit a sweater. What can you do? What can you do? What you could do is not buy sweater quantity until you're ready to knit a sweater, but what's the fun in that? There's no fun in that. With the yarn that I got out and the yarn that I got in, I am at a plus 21 for the month, which makes my year-to-date a plus 15 skeins in, which I think for only being 25% of the way through the year is not too bad. I'm starting to realize some of my buying habits and able to recognize them. So I think going forward, I can focus a bit better and maybe not buy yarn for 2, 3, 4 different sweater projects in 1 month. Although now I'm set up for success to start those. Anyway, that is the goal. I did want to show you something else that I acquired this month and then go over my goals of 2022 and see how I'm doing. So I was watching Grocery Girls Knit a couple weeks ago, and they mentioned that their Little Beaver with Les Garçons has gotten a little update. So I ordered the pin, I ordered the sticker, and the stitch marker set. The proceeds they mentioned from this sale, if you bought this set, went to a nonprofit that works with kids and preventing bullying, which I thought was a really great cause. So I bought the little trio, the Grocery Girls beaver. And now I can stick my beaver onto my 2022 making journal. So let's go over how my 2022 knitting goals are going. I have them written down in my making journal, which has been going okay. So here you can see my monthly stash changes, and then how I do my projects and skeins out and stash in, and how I track it all. So in here I also wrote down my 2022 goals. So let's look at them. I wrote down a bunch of different projects that I wanted to accomplish. There were 7 different sweaters. One of them is finished. And I also put at the bottom that one of my goals this year is Year of the Sweater. What I'm realizing is the 7 sweaters that I wrote down may not be like the 7 sweaters I make. Just because you find new sweaters, you get different inspiration. So I don't necessarily want to be locked into those. So I think my goal, which I'm editing just a bit, is going to be 6 sweaters in 2022. And I am on pace to make that goal. With 6 sweaters, that's 1 sweater every 2 months, a sweater every 8 weeks. So that means I just have to finish my stratified, which is on the sweaters, by the end of April. And that keeps me on track for 6 sweaters in the year, which I think is a really reasonable goal. 6 new garments and sweaters in the wardrobe would be great. Because I mean, I only have a couple right now. So having a bit more and just having a little intention in what I want to make, I think will be really good. So I feel like I'm on track for that goal. I'm changing it slightly. I do really love all the sweaters that I've written down, and I do have plans to keep some of them on my list this year, but then new ones come in that I find and I'm like the yarn, this yarn, and wanting to make this summer anchor tee. That wasn't originally on my list, but I want to make it. So I think having that flexibility will be good. I did also say that I wanted to do 2 shawls and my Desert Vista dye work socks. I have finished 1 shawl with my slip extravaganza, and I'm on track to finish my Birds of a Feather. So I might end up with more shawls, which I think is fine, because I also want to do another coast along. And I like shawls. I'm realizing I wear them a lot. I know some people are very anti-shawl. They just don't feel like they wear them. I wear them all the time because I don't like my neck being cold. So even if there's like a slight chill out, I will put a shawl on. If I'm sitting around the house, I will wear a shawl. I wear a shawl every morning when I leave for work. So I want more in my life. But I think 2 is a reasonable goal, and maybe more. Maybe my sweater 6 might go down and be replaced by a shawl. Who knows? I don't know. It's just where we're at right now. I also wrote down to be more consistent with my YouTube video uploads, which I think I've been doing quite well. I've been trying to do every 2 weeks for the podcast and my monthly stash in and stash out, and I've been doing that successfully. Like this next podcast may be a 3-week break because of the timing of this stash in and stash out, but I think a video being posted every 2 weeks is a good goal. Every week is the like perfection world if everything was perfect. So I think I'm doing good with that. And if you're a new subscriber, welcome. I am noticing you guys. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it, and I'm really glad you're here. I guess my goal to like alter with that is I want to hit 1,000 subscribers this year. So be consistent with uploads and hit 1,000 subscribers. And I think hitting 1,000 subscribers is a measurable goal, and the action to get there is to be consistent with uploading. So I think that's the full goal. Upload consistently and hit 1,000 subscribers. So if you're subscribed, thank you. And if you're not, why not? It's free. It helps me. I also wrote down to track projects in my journal as I finish them. I have not done that. I have done okay at keeping my stash in and stash out pages updated, and I have done things like this where I wrote down that I finished Lipstravaganza and filled out. No information on any of these projects. There's so many. So I need to go back and fill out some of these pages. We're not too far into the year. I just need to do it and then be more consistent. Every quarter I'm also, I don't know if I'm going to order photos from like Shutterfly, because you can order 4x4 prints and then just pay for shipping, or I might get photo paper and print them myself because I want a photo of each finished object in here. I did do Shutterfly to catch up at the end of last year, which I really enjoyed. If you use their app, you can do as many 4x4 or 4x6 prints for free and then just pay for shipping, which ended up only being like $5. So I need to update this and then be more consistent on keeping it updated when I finish a project. The next goal in here is to use stash more than I am purchasing, which currently I am not, but I was doing for 2 months. So we'll turn that around and keep that going. And then my other goal on here, which isn't necessarily knitting related, but is fiber related, is to increase my sewing skills, which I do think I am doing. I have sewed many a dress and a couple shirts already this year, and that's also where some of my knitting time has gotten, is I'm getting inspired by sewing some new things. Yeah. How are your 2022 goals going? Are you keeping a journal? What's going on? Let me know. I think I'm on the right track. I just need a clone that can knit all day. That's how I feel. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please feel free to do a thumbs up, to like the video, and subscribe if you're not. As I've mentioned before, it's just a free way to support the channel, and then you will be notified when future videos go up. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate you guys. Thank you for clicking, thank you for watching, and thank you for your love. I hope you're putting some love in every stitch of your knitting, and I'll see you guys again very soon. Also, since March is 3 months through the year, we're 25% through 2020. I have all my yarns that I have on my D-stash linked down below. They're just in my Ravelry listed under Will Sater Trail. Wow.